Airways was government owned. And well, to some extent, it thrived in the early years, post-independence.
Okay.
The incursion of the military into politics affected every governance structure in the country. Aviation was not exempted. And people were posted to administer. And as with most government enterprises, you cannot, strictly speaking, say it was run as a business. So, the main principle of corporate governance were largely absent. Either you have sole administrators or people who administer the way they see it without consequences. So, to some extent, it is still with us. So, those who are part of the challenges, administrative, and I've told you, absence of corporate governance, it's a business, you know, it's an international business. And it ought to have been approached as such. When you compare with other later airlines that came on, private airlines, they thrived to some extent, and then Nigeria Airways had to go. But the challenge of corporate governance, good corporate governance principles, are still plaguing the industry, such that the average lifespan of airlines are sometimes 5 years, and then they go under. But happily, we are seeing some difference. But again, as the Aviation Roundtable has consistently maintained, there is still that absence of good corporate governance practices. Instances when you have chairman, chief executive, instances where the books are not opened, instances where funds meant for aircraft maintenance, insurance, training of staff, and hazardous expansion of fleet or routes, there are still big problems. And again, capital is highly capital intensive, maintenance especially, and sustaining operations is still a big problem. And as Aviation Roundtable has consistently maintained, governments have to be intentional to see it, apart from being a business, as a social service, a critical one. Like I told you, the word that is constant is it's being a catalyst.
Okay.
And government shouldn't look at it for profit. Government should see it as a social responsibility to grow the economy and other segments of national life.
Some people have actually, canvassed or rather advocated for the exclusion of government when it comes to aviation business generally, or with particular reference to aviation.
We are believers of that too. Government should have no business in business other than to provide the conducive enabling environment.
Yeah, but some also have said
regulatory things in place.
Yeah, some also have said that there should be some sort of, public-private, sector partnership.
Great. The Aviation Roundtable believes strongly in that. And when the present minister came in, that's Olorogun Festus Kayamo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, part of the advice we gave him was to utilize the instrument of public-private partnership to develop aviation infrastructure. All that is required, like you said, is make the environment conducive, enabling environment, and sincerity of purpose. The closest, or what you can tout as about the most successful aviation infrastructure developments that went into public-private partnership or concession is the Murtala Mohammed 2 terminal run by this company by, what do they call themselves now? Oh, I'll remember.
Okay,
That's,
you just hold your thoughts, sir, while we go on this short break. When we return, you would continue. All right, I will quickly go on a short break. It's still Aviation Scope on your dialing station, VOP TV. Don't go anywhere.
This is a brief report on 100 years of aviation in Nigeria highlights and milestones. Aviation activity in what is now Nigeria began in the early 1920s with the establishment of the first aerodrome in Kano and early Royal Air Force operations that marked the sector's origin. The arrival of military aircraft in the 1920s laid the practical groundwork for civil aviation that followed. Through the 1930s and after World War II, aerodromes at Kano and Lagos evolved into strategic airfields and fuel stops for international services, creating the infrastructure that would support scheduled passenger and cargo flights. Over the next decades, Nigeria gradually moved from ad hoc fields to organized airports and scheduled services. A major institutional milestone came with the creation of Nigeria Airways in 1958, the country's first national carrier, which linked Nigeria domestically and internationally for nearly half a century before ceasing operations early 2000s. This period also saw expansion of airport networks and state involvement in commercial aviation. On the defense and regulatory side, the Nigerian Air Force was formally established in 1964, building national air capability and training programs. Over time, civil military aviation could evolve to support both sovereignty and national development. The modern regulatory framework matured around the turn of the 21st century, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA), and it was created by law in 1999 and became operational in 2000, marking a new era of independent aviation safety and economic oversight, while other agencies such as airports and airspace management bodies were also restructured. Since then, Nigeria's aviation landscape has been characterized by airport modernization, the rise of indigenous private carriers, ongoing safety and regulatory reforms, and efforts to recover a stable national flag carrier. The sector today remains vital to commerce, security, and regional connectivity while facing ongoing challenges in safety oversight, infrastructure, funding, and market stability.
2564 is coming up on Barney 9, right?
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Welcome back from that break. I'm Chukwemeka Obioma, and we are looking at the century-long Nigeria's aviation industry. And with me to actually dissect this topic is Air Commodore Onitiju, retired. He is the Aviation Roundtable Initiative President. Sir, like you were saying the other time, how do you think Nigeria could actually harness, the potentials within the industry to actually take the industry to the next level?
it is the attitude. It has to be attitudinal, and that's why we said policies should be intentional, should be deliberate. Identify these challenges that we said have been plaguing the industry and address them.
Okay.
In fairness to the present administration, Minister Keyamo
Yeah.
has been doing a lot. He was able to, aviation is global business, it's international.
Yes, it is.
If you misbehave here, it goes around, and you might be ostracized. People might not want to give you aircraft to fly or cooperate with you,
Okay.
especially when you default. Most of the time, it has to do with good faith, the relationship, and observance of best global aviation practices. And that is the purpose of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority that has the civil aviation regulation,
Yeah.
which everybody operating in the Nigerian airspace is expected to comply with.
All right.
Provision of aeronautical services by NAMA,
Okay.
and NIMET in terms of, say, weather reports to guide, and the management of the facilities, which Federal Aviation Airports Authority of Nigeria does.
Okay. All right, sir. A quick one. Let me ask this before we, call it a wrap on this edition. Now, I want to ask. Recently, we got a report that the Nigerian Aviation College of Technology is limited in terms of capacity to train staff. So what would you recommend? I mean, what are the initiatives you consider successful in promoting aviation education and training in the industry, given the scenario that I've just painted
Human
before?
capacity development is quite important. Aviation is a highly professional venture. And recently, the present government, again, they have multiplied the number of campuses. You now have a branch of the NCAT in almost in all the 6 geopolitical zones that is being used as administrative instrument, if you like. That is one of the ways. There are also other aviation training schools. There is the one in Ilorin that the Kwara State government started, and there is one that somebody even started a university. That is Isaac Balami, Engineer Isaac Balami. These are good ventures. And there are other aviation training organizations which are private to boost and prepare people for manpower.
All right. What would be your advice for anyone seeking a career in that industry?
Enlightenment and career sessions where professionals will be invited to from the various segments of aviation value chain. They will talk to young ones, especially in secondary schools, in search for formative years, so that they can now decide what they want, knowing the career opportunities that exist in the industry.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Air Commodore Ademola Onitiju, retired, an aviation expert, and we've been discussing the 100 years of Nigeria's aviation industry. And Air Commodore, you have been fantastic. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. I'm talking of 100 years. We will invite you to participate with us. 1st of December, I think we're going to mark it. Wow. That's what the ministry decided. But we at Aviation Roundtable, we are still going to invite the whole world to celebrate with us in February.
All right.
There will be a symposium. There will be launching of Aviation Safety Roundtable Secretariat. And at the end of it, we collate ideas.
All right. I look forward to that event. And with that, we have come to the end of this week's edition of Aviation Scope. Keep a date with us again, same time next week. I am Chukwuemeka Obioma. Thank you for watching.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeat, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
I've been in this profession over 30 years. And I must confess to you, VOP is just too welcoming. You can't do without VOP on a daily basis. The moment you join VOP on a daily basis, you are all in all.
Join us on People's Voice, where we amplify the voice of those that matters the most. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts with me. I am Xavier Udo. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, from 4 p.m. to 5. Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns. Thank you.
My name is Tao Familani, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
In a world where power shifts its every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Join Moses, Chukuma and Fina on Voice of the People TM. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as they hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Arpeon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, please the sport.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging 1-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Everybody keep watching Voice of the People. All right? Love you all.
Hello, sweetie. What's going on? My name is Kiki. Keep watching VOP TV. Thanks.
Hey guys, what's going on? Olumide Oru, the Fresh Prince of Lagos here, and this is VOP TV, guys.
Hello guys, I want you to please keep on watching VOP TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hafiz Oyetoro. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Shout out to VOP TV.
Very big shout out to the fans and lovers of VOP TV. My name is Tayo Fanuro. I'm an actor that you are going to live to love. Keep watching. Cheers.
Hi everyone, so shout out to VOP.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react. Understand.
Voice of the People, you can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Suibifa Dokubo. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, my name is Kwekumali Ikena Onyekwena, and I am with the Voice of the People TV. Now, if you're looking for the veritable channel for information, politics, robust discussions, you don't need to go far. VOP has you. VOP will always have you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrick Diabwa, aka Ibani Chuka, Amayanabo the Eagle King, and you are watching VOP TV.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Aviation Nelson One, your number one celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People Television, VOP. Stay tuned.
Uyo Sarate is my name. I am a friend of the microphone, Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging, picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings that I see sometimes on your channel. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios.
Oh yes, you are on to Voice of the People TV, live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
2564 is coming up on Burning Down, right?
2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Welcome to Kitty's Corner. Every weekend is a new journey. Join Auntie Oni as she embarks on thrilling adventures. Each episode takes the young explorers to a different fantastical world filled with exciting challenges, making new friends and learning valuable life lessons. The show begins with lots of excitement in a cozy storytelling mood. Fairies teach the importance of kindness, honesty, bravery, teamwork, or curiosity. Kitty's Corner is a delightful blend of fun, education, and imagination with catchy songs, interactive games, and heartwarming stories. Join Auntie Oni every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Voice of the People Television. Kitty's Corner, perfect destination for curious minds.
Three years ago, we lit the spark. Today, we are blazing the trail for others to follow. VOP Media is 3 years of breaking boundaries. 3 years of being that bold voice that echoes the thoughts of the people. 3 years of telling stories that matter.
We have experienced complete breakdown in democratic governance.
We are not just a brand. We are a movement, giving voice to the voiceless.
We go to bed empty hunger.
To every viewer, every voice, and everyone that has made us who we are, we say thank you. VOP Media, 3 years and still counting.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Voice of the People Television awuchiela o onye nụ ya ka ọrụ ibe ya. Ị chọrọ ịmata akụkọ ndị gbara n'akwụkwọ akụkọ dị iche iche n'ala anyị kwa ụbọchị. Ị chọrọ ịmata ka o si afịatụ na ndọrọndọrọ ọchịchị, agụmakwụkwọ, azụmahịa, ime njem, ọbụla dị egwuregwu. Mgbasonyere anyị n'oge ndị Igbo na Voice of the People Television. Anyị nwere ndị ọbịa bụ ọkachamara, bụkwa ndị ga-enye aka tapịa isiokwu ndị anyị jiri bịa kwa ụbọchị. Anyị ga-eji ka o siri gbaa n'akwụkwọ akụkọ dị iche iche wee malite tupu anyị akọzie n'uju n'ubi onye anyị bịara na nke ya.
Ịgbamụrụ nzem ọzọ kedụkosi aga ya gaziere onye ukwu ma gaziere onye nta.
Mkparịta ụka tọrọ atọ ka anyị ga-ewetara gị bụkwa nke ga-eme ka ịmata ka ihe si aga n'ala anyị bụ Naịjirịa, ọbụla dị na mba ofesi. oge ndị Igbo na Voice of the People Television ga na-abịara gị site n'ụbọchị Mọnde ruo Fraịde na SLTV Channel 264. Ekwekwala ka akọrọ gị ya akọrọ. Chetakwa na ọ bụ na SLTV Channel 264 ka ị ga-ekiri Voice of the People Television. Voice of the People Television. Ugbu a ị nwere karịa olu.
My name is Esther. They call me the Oga of them are the general overseer of them all. Every man, every woman has got a voice where integrity is the volume. So this is Voice of the People's TV. Voice of the People's TV. So this is the people's voice. And the people's voice is the voice of God. That's the voice populi in Latin. The people's voice is the voice of God. So keep watching Voice of the People. In fact, my name is Voice of the People. Keep watching MC Adobe King.
Hi guys, my name is Kegan. I am Nigeria's biggest tech content creator, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Voice of the People TV. Keep watching, enjoy, and you're welcome.
My name is MC Alamano. They call me Enjoy Med Landlord. It's VOP TV. Keep watching VOP TV. Don't touch it down. Even if you want to touch it down, increase the volume. If you don't increase the volume, I told me.
My name is Collins Agawabe, popularly known as No Maiden, but last, more than No Maiden. Or more. Not be also the cook right at the fry plantain. We keep on watching VOP TV. The voice of the people, the voice of Edo. If you don't want to get the authentic news for Edo the way it be, that's why they show and all the content anything come on. A VOP TV.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
In Nigeria, weddings are more than ceremonies. They are deeply rooted cultural performances, traditions where love is measured, respect is demonstrated, and the couple's readiness is publicly declared. Today, we explore 4 remarkable marriage customs that continue to define and distinguish Nigerian culture. The Urobo Groom's Acceptance Dance in Delta State. Among the Urobo people, marriage proposals are not complete without a compelling performance. The groom must present himself to the bride's family through dance. This ritual is more than a formality, it is a declaration, a deeply symbolic gesture that speaks to his humility, strength, and readiness to resume the weight of marital responsibility. Under the watchful eyes of elders and kin, the groom steps into a sacred space. Each movement is measured. Each step is intentional. His dance becomes a silent language expressing respect for the family, reverence for tradition, and unwavering commitment to the woman he hopes to call his wife. But the true climax of the ritual comes not with applause, but with a response. If the bride rises and joins him moving in rhythm by his side, it is a powerful signal of acceptance, a public acknowledgement that she too is ready, that she sees in him a partner, a protector, and a future. Together, their dance becomes a union of purpose. For the Irobo, this ritual is not just a tradition, it is a rite of passage, a cultural affirmation that love must be earned and marriage must be honored. In the Niger Delta, among the Ijaw, the bride does not smile on her wedding day, not until the symbolic gesture of value is complete. Among the Ijaw people, weddings are not merely ceremonies, they are cultural declarations of respect, value, and tradition. At the heart of this ritual stands the bride, composed, dignified, and silent. She does not smile. Her expression, calm and unreadable, is a quiet assertion of agency. It is tradition that before joy can unfold, a symbolic gesture must take place. Cash offerings are made to her not as a prize, but as a token of appreciation, a respectful acknowledgement of her worth, her strength, and her role in the union to come. Each offering is placed before her with care. The moment is deliberate. The bride weighs not just the amount, but the spirit in which it is given. And only when she is satisfied and when the gesture feels worthy, she smiles. That single smile marks the turning point, a quiet signal that respect has been shown and the union is worthy of celebration. Then the celebration began. For the Ijaw, this moment is sacred. It is not about wealth, but about recognition, about beginning a marriage with honor and the full consent of a woman who knows her value. For the Fulani of northern Nigeria, a man's strength and endurance are essential proofs of love. The Sharo festival, a centuries-old tradition known as the test of love. Here, in the presence of elders, family, and an entire community, a groom steps forward not with gifts, but with his back bared, ready to be flogged, not out of cruelty, but out of culture. Each lash he receives is a test of endurance, bravery, and emotional control. He must stand tall without flinching, without crying or retreating. His silence is everything. It is his declaration that he is strong enough to protect, patient enough to endure, and emotionally ready for the journey of marriage. But the challenge does not end there. Sometimes another man steps forward, a rival for the same bride, and in that arena, love becomes a contest. The one who withstands the pain with the most dignity, the one who shows the greatest strength, earns the right to her hand. This is not mere spectacle, it is ritual. A cultural practice where courage is measured and marital readiness is revealed through sacrifice. For the Fulani, marriage is not simply accepted, it is earned. For the Sharo tribe, true love proves itself. The Efik fattening room wedding preparation. In Cross River State, the Efik people prepare brides with grace and wisdom. It is a sacred institution known as the fattening room, which prepares a bride not just for a wedding, but for womanhood itself. Here, young women are secluded for weeks, sometimes months, in a sacred... and private space. And this time, honor tradition, The bride-to-be is not isolated, but nurtured, fed a rich, balanced diet to promote fullness and beauty, a symbol of prosperity and care. But the transformation is not just physical. Elders and matrons pass down vital knowledge, the art of respect, power of patience, the strength of dignity. She is taught how to manage a home, uphold cultural values, and honor her future role as a wife and mother. It is a school of femininity, of discipline, and of pride. And when she emerges, she is met not with mere ceremony, but with celebration, glowing in confidence, poised in wisdom, and ready to step into her union with grace and honor. Across Nigeria, wedding traditions are not mere customs. They are rich cultural expressions that text character, affirm worth, and prepare couples for life ahead. They challenge, they honor, and empower. In these traditions, love is not spoken but proven. Some test strength, others demand patience, but all are rooted in respect, in community, and in legacy.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
I've been in this profession over 30 years. And I must confess to you, VOP is just too welcoming. You can't do without VOP on a daily basis. The moment you join VOP on a daily basis, you are all in all.
Join us on People's Voice, where we amplify the voice of those that matters the most. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts with me. I am Xavier Udo. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, from 4 p.m. to 5. Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns. Thank you.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOPTV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not a spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Join Moses, Chukuma, and Fina on Voice of the People TM. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Aviation. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, please discuss.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOPTV, now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOPTV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOPTV. Now you have more than a voice.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Aviation, Nelson One, your number one celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People Television, VOP. Stay tuned.
Uyi Osarate is my name. I am a friend of the microphone, Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging, picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings that I see sometimes on your channel. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios.
Oh yes, you are on to Voice of the People TV, live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
VOPTV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP this morning. 8 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Well, start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP this morning, 8 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Well, hello and welcome to News Hour on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Oguche. Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Here are the headlines. ABGA retains Anambra seat. Governor thanks voters, reaches out to rivals. President hails Soludo's leadership. A candidate says integrity trumps deception. Candidate rejects Soludo's win. State signs MOUs to convert waste. While on the foreign scene, survivors and families rebuild a decade after terror strikes. And in business news, government reviews economic reforms. In sports news, Inter Miami cruises into MLS playoffs. In the world of entertainment, tributes pouring for Alfred Okedeve. Well, now the news in detail. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has clinched a second term in office after being declared winner of the November 8 Anambra governorship election by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The ABGA candidate swept all 21 local government areas in a landslide victory. Announcing the result in Oka, the state returning officer, Professor Omorege Edoba of the University of Benin, said Soludo met all legal requirements to be returned elected. He polled 422,664 votes to defeat Nicholas Ukachukwu of the APC, who secured 99,445 votes, while Paul Chukwuma of the YPP followed with 37,753 votes. The election recorded low voter turnout, with about 598,000 accredited voters out of over 2.7 million registered. Although largely peaceful, it was trailed by allegations of vote buying, leading to 3 arrests by the EFCC. INEC, however, maintained there was no verified evidence of malpractice. With this victory, Soludo, first elected in 2021, will serve until 2030. He pledged to build on his achievements in security, infrastructure, and economic growth while sustaining ABGA's leadership in the state. In the meantime, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has expressed gratitude to the people of Anambra State for re-electing him for another 4 years. In his victory speech at his country home in Isuofa, Agwata local government area, Soludo said it was time to return to work and continue serving the state. The governor said even during the collation of results, he was already making calls to discuss the 2026 budget, emphasizing that leadership is a continuous assignment. He promised to double efforts in governance and ensure that Anambra continues to win. Soludo also commended the Independent National Electoral Commission for conducting what he described as a free, fair, and credible election. He praised INEC's ICT department for promptly uploading over 99% of polling unit results on its iRev portal, saying it reflects progress in Nigeria's democracy. Extending an olive branch to his opponents, the governor urged them to join hands with him in moving the state forward. He said political contests should not divide Anambra people, noting that the spirit of brotherhood remains the foundation of the state's unity and growth.
came from across the border, caused mayhem, and don't deliver, even with the best of intentions, if the security agencies didn't come through. I must commend all the security forces, the Nigerian police, the army, the DSS, the civil defense, the Navy, and our own local security force, the Agoda Chamber. They all came through. Agoda Chamber on the sidelines, but making sure that the borders also fully secure. I think by being very impartial and ensuring that due process be done, they were able to thwart even the major efforts of some forces that wanted to cause mayhem. But even on this, I also recognize not with sadness, the sad news of some hoodlums that went to a community, Owarizukala, just at the outskirts, the border with Imo. We understand they came from across the border, caused mayhem, and even killed one of our supporters and a councillor who had just voted and was heading home. Busted him and shot him dead. That's a councillor, an Apga chieftain at the border there. Very unfortunate. May his soul rest in peace. And the security forces say big kudos, because without you, it would have been difficult to have free, fair, transparent elections. Thank you very much.
And that was Professor Charles Soludo, the just re-elected governor of Anambra State. And joining us virtually now to discuss this is VOP TV's correspondent Undu Okpaleze, who joined us all the way from Anambra. Also, we have another guest who is going to be analyzing these stories alongside Undu Okpaleze. Our second guest will be the Director, Center for Advocacy, Faith Nwadishi. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Good evening. Ladies first. Okay.
Thank you.
Undu, thank you, and Faith, thank you. So, like I said earlier on, ladies first. So I'll begin with you, Faith. I don't know how you would like to assess the overall conduct of the Anambra elections. I'm going to throw that question to you, Undu, too. So just, I'd like for you to react to what Faith says.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening again.
Yes.
Good evening again, and thanks for having me. So for the Anambra election, I would say that it's remarkable from the last election that we had, especially the Ondo election. Though there were some challenges that we had, but again, I would like to start from assessing what the political class did. So you see that our elections every year, every time there's an election, every election is different from the other election, because for every election you see new things come up. You see some old things that you have mentioned that were issues, is either there's an improvement on it. So let's take logistics, for instance. Even though polls opened slightly later than 8:30, we found out that some of the INEC ad hoc staff didn't come to the polling units on time. So there was still that issue with logistics. For the security agencies, I would say they did well. They were very professional, even though some of them still complained that they had not paid them their allowances. Some of them had complained that they didn't get a decent place to take their bath. And for citizens, the issue of vote buying still was there. And we see that technology is playing a great role in our election. The beavers that we had worked well, aside from 2 polling units that results were cancelled because the ad hoc staff didn't use the beaver, so they had to cancel those results. But the beavers and the fact that results were uploaded to the IREV as at 4 p.m. yesterday. In fact, by now we already have over 90% results uploaded on the iRev. So you will see that technology is improving. The ad hoc staff, they're improving their skills, but the political class are not doing anything, paying particular attention to issues around, for instance, voter education. When you talk about voter education, when you talk about monitoring the entire process and deployment of their people, and then also perpetuating the act of vote trading by the political class. So these are the things that we see that has continued to happen. But if you ask me, I would give a pass mark to most stakeholders who had to play their role, the media, civil society, who had to play their role in the election, and others. But the political class is not doing any better from what I saw on the field.
Very well said, Faith. Undo, I'm going to be using you as a soundboard, right? You heard what Faith just said, so let me come to you. Your boots have been on the ground from the get-go, Undu, right? So I want for you to react to what Faith said. Faith said the political class, she's not going to give them 100%. But at the security operatives, right, she's also giving a pass mark to the electoral umpire for immediately uploading the results, you know. And she actually re-echoed what the governor has said. Now, but there was something Governor Soludo said in his speech. He actually talked about 2 people who had died in the course of this election. So I want for you to react to all of these one after the other.
Okay. Yes, just like the guest in the studio said, there's general improvement in the election, the conduct of the election, especially with regards to INEC and the voting public. But like she said, the politicians we don't have to give them all that kudos because they didn't do all they're supposed to do, and they did not also play very well according to the rules in terms of vote buying. If you ask me, I wouldn't say that vote buying was the way it used to be, but it was magnified this time around. It became worse than it used to happen. Because almost, it's like corrupting the electorate. And this time around, people are hungry. It takes a very disciplined person to say no to vote buying. So that happened a lot. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't say it affected the overall outcome because actually the result that was announced, I want to believe, is the will of the people, because people voted for the party that eventually was announced.
How about the fatality that the governor talked about, the people that had died in the course of the election? In fact, Governor Soludo specifically mentioned an Apgar chieftain, a councillor who was casting his vote and was gunned down. Do you want to throw more light on that incident?
Yes. That actually we cannot exactly say unless further investigations happen. We may not point accusing fingers on political opponents or something like that. But it may be something that is outside politics because it appeared the young man was targeted by the assailants. They just came for him, killed him, and left. It wasn't. There's no, very easy way to link it to politics.
Okay.
They did not disrupt. They did not disrupt the polling in the place, but I think they just came for him, and maybe people who wanted to, get at him felt that that place could be the easiest place to get at him. I think that's what. We may not say.
Rather unfortunate. Okay. Rather unfortunate. But would you say overall that security was on point and that the security operatives did their job very well? Would you say that?
Yes, I'll give them a very big pass mark because apart from these few areas we were now talking about, security was in place and people felt freer to go about voting. Even though I think Nigeria will still have to touch on the role of the security. For instance, the police, I think they focus majorly on making sure there is law and order. But when they see these electoral offenses happen, they look the other way, because what I understand, it's not part of their brief to stop that. But if we don't use police to stop vote buying, will it stop? Because these are the people that I think can help to. Is it not a crime? I think it's crime. If it's a crime, then police is supposed to stop crime from happening.
Absolutely.
Yes. Because most of the places, people complain that these things were happening with the security agencies, looking, seeing it and doing nothing to stop it.
Let me take this
I
to
think
Faith.
that's the area I don't want to give them kudos.
Okay, let me take it to Faith. Faith, did you hear what our correspondent, who is on ground right now, Undo Palazi, you heard what he said, that of course the security operatives did well to ensure that it was, a free and fair election, but that allegedly when some electoral offenses were taking place, they would look the other way. So this is my question to you. Do you believe that what just happened, or the conduct of the Anambra elections, was the overall will of the people?
Okay, so when you have an election that is paid for by way of vote buying, that's where you can no longer say it is the will of the people. Because I was at a polling unit where we saw some young persons, they were just standing by, they were not voting, and we asked them why they were not voting. It will shock you to know that they were negotiating the cost of the vote. They said they were not going to vote because the people were offering them 3,000 naira. They wanted the party agents there to up the amount a little bit before going to vote. They actually said they will not vote unless they give them something higher. So by the time you are paying for those kind of votes, it means that you have already bought it. And that's why these days you find it so easy for politicians. You elect them on a particular political platform, and 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, they're already decamping to other political parties, and they don't come back to the electorate that elected them to say, we want to decamp to the other party, our ideologies have changed, our ideas have changed, but it is always around themselves and not the people. So for instance, let me address the issue of the police looking the other side. On the eve of the election, we had a meeting with the CP elections, CP Shogule, civil society. We had a meeting with him, and I brought up this problem because every time we go to observe elections, you find out that even when you draw the attention of the police or security agents to a malpractice going on, they don't. The best they can tell you is that they have to wait for the INEC official to draw that to their attention. So I brought up this question again on Friday, and he told me clearly that it is only the electoral officer that can bring such an issue to the police or the security agent before they can do anything about it. So you see a situation whereby electoral offenses are defined separately. They are not defined as crime, as is contained in the Police Act, or is contained in the Criminal Code, or is even contained in our Constitution. Election crime is different, and election crime can only be reported by INEC official. So, and he is saying the reason for that is if you go to arrest somebody on the field, that this person has committed an electoral crime, you could actually take that person to court, and the defense lawyer will ask you, who reported that crime? If it is any other person outside the INEC official, that case is dead on arrival. And sometimes you can even go to the INEC official on the field there and say, this person was, the person said, no, the person was not committing such a crime. So the question I ask is this: the electoral officer on the day of election is busy administering elections. So at what point in time will that person have the time to notice that a crime has happened? If not the citizens or election observers or other stakeholders who are there on that field, that we understand that there's a crime that is going on so that the police can attend to it. So this is where all of us, in fact, this is where we should call for a review of the Electoral Act and the guidelines to say that crime should be defined as crime. There shouldn't be a way to treat electoral crime and another way to treat another crime. Now, for instance, that young man that was killed yesterday during the elections, people are saying, oh, maybe he was targeted. But the fact of the matter is that it happened during election. it happened within a polling unit, and they were supposed to have security officers there. How come that they couldn't apprehend one person? They couldn't apprehend one person to say, this is what happened. Yesterday, I reported that one of my observers also had her foot injured. Her foot injured. She was injured by the activities of overzealous security officers who were in the local government area where she was observing election. She had her foot injured. She was bleeding. I have escalated this matter to the police, but up till now, they have not even gotten back to say, oh, we have investigated. This is what has happened. And this happened between 6:30 a.m. and 7:50 a.m. yesterday morning, where my observer was injured. But having said this, I want us to note that if you go back to history, all of the Anambra elections, this is one election where we didn't have tension going into the election. The last election was the worst that we had. You could actually cut the tension with any scissors or knife on the before the election. But Anambra on election day is usually very peaceful. And this is one election we have seen has happened in Anambra where lives were lost on election day between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 2:30, where elections are going on. So this is what we have seen going on. And then when the people are not able to come out to vote, look at the percentage of persons. 2.8 million people. Even though there's a little improvement from the last election 4 years ago was just a little over 100,000 that brought the winner. Now we are looking at about 422,000. That means there's a little bit of improvement, but yet the voter turnout is still very low because citizens still don't know the power they have with the PVC. That power that gives the PVC that gives them the power to hire and fire. So they have now brought it down to the issue of naira and kobo. How much can you pay so that I can go out to vote? It's quite unfortunate, and it's something we should continue to talk about. So if you continue to have that, you cannot say that it is the will of the people. It was actually bought, so people were paid and they did and they went out to vote. And now, if you notice that election, there was really no competition. There was really no competition. 16 candidates, 16 political parties, but how many people were we seeing out on the field? How many people actually campaigned? How many people went to mobilize? There was no form of mobilization. There was no form of voter education. It was just campaign, the razzmatazz, and that's all. And today we have a result. Well, thank God we have a result. There's a governor in place.
Wow, Faith, what you've just done is to open a can of worms, right? You said so much, but for starters, I do hope that your colleague is receiving the attention she needs and that she gets well quick. But something you said, right, that the electoral officers who are attending to the electorate are unable to also clamp down on electoral crimes, and the police are saying it is not their jurisdiction to do that. Who then should do it? Now, you are an observer, and of course you're talking with the authorities, the stakeholders. Who would you recommend to be the ones to report these electoral offenses and to ensure that the offenders are arrested and prosecuted?
Crime is crime anywhere. Electoral crime is not different from crimes that are committed on daily basis.
So you're saying the police officers should be the ones?
Yes, no, citizens, for instance, it is a right of a citizen to even arrest a criminal. It is a right. Ensure that it stops there, and then you report it to a law enforcement agent. Now, what happens on election day is that even you as a citizen, you cannot draw the attention of a law enforcement agent to an electoral crime, and that law enforcement agent will take action. Because according to the law enforcement agent, that crime has to be reported by an INEC official.
I hear you, because this is going to be very pacey. So I want us to address this. Undo, in a short while, I'm going to be coming back to you, because Faith has been unearthing a lot of anomalies in this just concluded election. Faith, you also talked about voter apathy, and you've been hammering on voter advocacy and voter enlightenment, right? Now, you also talked about vote buying. I mean, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, you do know how the WTO chief had said once upon a time that the elite, the political elite, has weaponized poverty. So do you think that's the root cause of what's happening actually? Or is it really the voter illiteracy, or would you say is the issue of poverty?
I think it's all of them put together, because like I said, citizens don't understand the power that they have. And when you have power, you don't understand, you don't know how to use it. Some other people will take it from you and make you vulnerable. So you see, during campaigns, you see the politicians, they're very humble, they're coming to homes, they're asking questions, they're doing everything. But as soon as they get into office, the citizens become the servants. The politicians are no longer the servants, So it is important that citizens understand this. And a situation whereby people just queue up. Somebody has voted, you have given the person 2,000, you have given the person 3,000, the person goes home to call his or her neighbor to say, oh, I got money, please go and vote so that they can give you. Now, what they were doing yesterday was that people were writing down their names, and then there were transfers that were made. Some were giving papers to say, you can use this paper to go and get something from a grocery shop. When I talked yesterday, when I mentioned the issue of a food voucher, the other guest said, oh, how can we be talking to, we have food vouchers in Nigeria, especially when somebody writes a note to you and say, please go to this so place and collect groceries worth so amount of money because you have come to vote. So people now feel that this is what they have to do. And listen, it's not just in Anambra, it's everywhere. If you go to Southwest, because I have observed elections, all of these off-season elections, national elections and all that, there is a slogan when it is coming to election time. You will hear people say, Dibo ko sobe. Dibo ko sobe simply means vote and make a pot of soup. You can imagine that. People say, vote and make a pot of soup. That is a slogan in the Southwest when it comes to the issues of vote buying. And then my question is, you vote and you are given like 2,000 and 4,000 and 5,000 to make one pot of soup. Will you eat that pot of soup for 4 years? Will you eat that pot of soup for 4 years?
Absolutely, I can answer that question, Faith. Absolutely not. You cannot eat a pot of soup for even more than 2 days. But I'm going to come back to you. Faith, I'm going to come back to you in a short while, because you see, this election was meant to be a litmus test for the just appointed electoral umpire, right? So I'm going to ask you to give him score marks in a short while. But let me take it back to my colleague, Undu Okpaleze, who is also on ground there. Undu, Faith, by the way, is in Oka, and she's an observer, and she's been monitoring events from the get-go. Now, I want you to react to some of the things she said, reacting vote buying and all that. This time around, it took, a hydra-headed form. Also, I want you to address the issue of voter apathy. Officially, we had over 2 million registered voters, but you had way below 1 million who voted, who participated. How would you react to these questions, Undu?
Yes, with regards to vote buying, I already said that it took a very, it was, raised to a very high pedestal, and even the blind could see it. But one thing an impression I want to correct is that, we were there long before the election. We witnessed the campaign period. I will tell you that in Anambra State, the party that won this election is truly on the ground. And being an incumbent government, they were able to campaign. They went to the nooks and crannies of the hamlets in the state. So much so with other parties like the APC, YPP, but you cannot say that of so many other political parties among the 16 parties that contested the election. So very few of them did the sensitization and mobilization before the election. And I think vote buying was raised to this level because of fears and apprehensions. Nobody wants to be cheated out of it. So even those who felt without doing anything, they could win, they had to do something. But I'm telling you that if vote buying was not there and free, people came out on their own to vote, these people who have majority of supporters, they will also win. And that is exactly what I think that has happened.
I'm glad, Undu, that you clarified that issue. Quickly, in 30 seconds, would you address the issue of voter apathy? I mean, people really did not come out to vote, right?
Yes.
What do you think is the reason for that?
People did not come out, and it was a very surprising thing to people, to us, because of the level of sensitization by the civil society organizations, other stakeholders, and the INEC. A lot of things were done, and because of the number of people that also got their PVCs, they felt that enthusiasm would have continued on the election day. But we cannot also, there's no way you can finish talking about the ills of vote buying. I think because before the election, people knew that vote buying was going to happen. So this issue of knowing that, why do I have to stress myself? For some people, why do I have to stress myself? If at the end of the day, my vote is not going to count, or this and that. That may have informed some people from not participating from the election.
Undu, in a nutshell, what you're saying is a lack of confidence in the whole process is largely responsible for voter apathy. But I've got to say you have been fantastic from A to Z. Undu, well done, and I'm glad you are safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Faith, your final words. I was going to ask you, Faith, how would you rate the just elected INEC chairman? This is his first one, right? A very big assignment for him. Would you give him a pass mark? Briefly, before we wrap up.
So very briefly, I would say that it's too early to say we are rating him or not, because these preparations have started 1 year ago.
Oh, okay.
The timetable for this election was released 1 year ago, and activities were already being done. And to quickly say that we should change the narrative about people saying that votes are not counting. If votes are not counting, politicians will not buy our vote. It is the strategy of the politicians to keep people away, to say votes are not counting.
All right, Faith, before you go, because we'll have to bring you, we have to bring you back, Faith. You definitely have to come back. But a few seconds before we wrap up, you do know that before the election, there were allegations of Governor Soludo, the one who had just been re-elected, inducing the electorate. But his party came out to say he was just encouraging his voters. Do you think the electoral umpire should have claimed? Yeah. Finally, okay.
So vote buying doesn't start at the polling unit. They actually start from the primaries.
Yeah.
The choice of delegates, and then when a candidate says the local government that produces the best votes, I will give such amount of money. What is that amount? What is that money for? That money should be put into voter education. I was on ground in Anambra for 1 week before the election. In September, I was there for 2 weeks, going around the communities doing voter education. We did at Orumba South especially, and we found that the parties were not doing voter education. You give it in any state where any party is in power, they do campaign because they have the structure, they have the money. Every other party, what they just do is just jamboree and shout that we have done this.
And that's rather unfortunate. Faith, you have been fantastic. It has been a pleasure having you on board today. Thank you so much
for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a Faith Nwadishe. She is the Executive Director, Center for Advocacy. You're still watching News Hour on VOP TV. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Congratulatory messages are pouring in on Soludo's re-election. President Bola Tinubu described Soludo's victory as a reflection of his visionary leadership and the progress recorded under his administration. In a statement personally signed by him, President Tinubu said the Anambra governor had shown that knowledge and accountability can drive effective governance. He commended Soludo for his discipline, brilliance, and innovative approach, saying Anambra is living up to its motto as the light of the nation. The president urged Soludo to be magnanimous in victory and seek cooperation from his opponents for the state's overall progress. He assured the governor of continued partnership between the federal government and Anambra State. Tinubu also praised the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for conducting what he called a credible and transparent election. He encouraged the new INEC leadership to sustain high standards and further strengthen Nigeria's democratic process. Also, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has congratulated Professor Charles Soludo on his re-election as governor of Anambra State. In a statement on his official X handle, Keyamo praised Soludo's victory in the November 8 governorship election. Keyamo also extended commiserations to the candidates who had died, including Nicholas Okachukwu of the All Progressive Congress, talking about those who had lost in the election, saying, "We win some and we lose some." The minister emphasized the importance of respecting electoral outcomes in strengthening democracy. Governor Soludo, the APGA candidate, won in all 21 local government areas of the state, defeating 15 other candidates to secure a second term. His victory was described as a landslide and a reaffirmation of his leadership and governance. Keyamo's message underscores the unity and sportsmanship expected in Nigeria's political system, urging all participants to support the governor in advancing development and good governance in Anambra State. In the same vein, Ogun State Governor Dakwa Abiodun has congratulated his Anambra counterpart, who was declared winner of Saturday's governorship election after polling 422,664 votes across the state's 21 local government areas. In a statement issued by his media aide, Governor Abiodun said the election outcome reflected the trust and confidence the people of Anambra have in Soludo's leadership. He commended the governor's efforts in steering the state toward growth and development. Abiodun, who chairs the Southern Governors Forum, urged Soludo to sustain his policy direction and continue to deliver good governance. He also encouraged him to unite political interests across the state for inclusive progress. The Ogun governor further lauded Soludo for maintaining a cordial working relationship with President Bola Tinubu's administration. He expressed optimism that such collaboration would foster stronger federal-state cooperation and deepen democratic governance in the South. Also, the All Progressives Grand Alliance has congratulated Governor Chukwuma Soludo on his re-election in the November 8 Anambra governorship poll. The party described the victory as historic and overwhelming, noting that Soludo secured 73% of total votes cast and won in nearly all the state's electoral wards. In a statement signed by its publicity secretary, APGA said the result reflects the people's trust in the governor's leadership and reforms. It described the outcome as a referendum on performance and a reaffirmation of APGA's stronghold in the southeast. The party expressed appreciation to President Bola Tinubu for ensuring peace during the election and also commended INEC and security agencies for conducting a credible exercise. APGA, however, mourned the killing of its member, Councillor Francis Ibe, who was shot dead after voting in Orumba South. The party called for his killers to be brought to justice and urged all candidates to join hands with Governor Soludo to advance the state's development. Meanwhile, in reaction to the just concluded Anambra governorship elections, the African Action Congress candidate in the state, Chioma Ifemelu Duke, says the results announced by INEC stands higher than political deception, insisting that she remains a winner on principle despite the outcome. The AAC candidate received 292 votes, while Governor Chukwuma Soludo of APGA won the election with 422,664 votes. Nicholas Okachukwu of APC followed with 99,445 votes, and other candidates shared the remaining votes across the state's 21 local government areas. Now, the opponents, one of them had earlier raised concerns about vote buying during the election. However, INEC's resident electoral commissioner, Queen Agu, dismissed the allegations, urging anyone with credible evidence to present it. Meanwhile, the EFCC arrested 3 suspected vote buyers in different parts of the state. They are expected to be charged in court once investigations are concluded, highlighting the ongoing efforts to ensure accountability in the electoral process. Also, the Labour Party candidate in the Anambra governorship election, George Mohalu, has rejected the results, declaring Professor Charles Soludo the winner. Speaking to journalists at his residence in Nnewi on Sunday, Mohalu described the election as a scam. He alleged widespread vote buying, voter intimidation, and underage voting, claiming that the results were predetermined before the polls began. Mohalu said the party would announce its next steps in response to the alleged irregularities. In the election held on November 8, Mohalu finished fourth with 10,576 votes. The Independent National Electoral Commission had earlier declared Soludo of Abga as the winner across all 21 local government areas. The allegations by the Labour Party candidate highlight ongoing tensions in Anambra's post-election landscape, with calls for accountability and transparency continuing from various political actors. Well, turning to other stories now. The Lagos State government has signed 3 memoranda of understanding with private companies to convert residents' waste into wealth. The agreements were announced during the 11th Lagos International Climate Change Summit, highlighting the state's commitment to sustainable waste management. Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, said the MOUs aim to shift from traditional waste disposal to advanced recycling and resource recovery. Initiatives include a circular beverage, a container recycling program, tire recycling plants, and conversion of non-recyclable plastic into sustainable fuel. Wahab stressed the importance of educating residents to view waste as a resource, encouraging proper sorting and participation in recycling programs. He said these partnerships will reduce landfill waste while creating economic and environmental benefits. The initiative was welcomed by the private sector, with company executives pledging support to implement the Waste to Wealth projects. Officials from LOMA and other government agencies attended the summit, underscoring the collaborative approach to improving Lagos' environmental sustainability. Well, you're watching News Hour on VOP TV. More stories after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Now, the Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has condemned the outcome of the Anambra State governorship election of the Labour Party and the Obedience Movement. APC described the result as the collapse of a political mirage, criticizing Peter Obi for allegedly building his brand on manufactured statistics and emotional manipulation. In a statement, the party accused Obi of presenting himself as a political savior while misleading Nigerian youth and parading a false aura of victimhood. APC highlighted that Obi even lost his own polling unit, which it called a public humiliation and proof that his movement lacks real grassroots support. The statement added that the defeat exposes the weaknesses of the obedience movement, asserting that Nigeria's democracy is not a platform for politicians seeking foreign validation after failing at home. APC warned that those who cannot secure trust locally cannot claim nationwide acceptance. APC concluded by contrasting Obi's performance with that of President Bola Tinubu, saying while the president rebuilds institutions and attracts investment, Obi is focused on media campaigns and international recognition, ignoring failures in his home base. Now, the Ondo State Police Command has rescued 15 girls who were allegedly targeted by a sex trafficking syndicate. The victims, aged between 20 and 26, were lured from different parts of the country with promises of domestic work, ushering services and overseas employment. Investigations revealed that the suspects posed as producers of relationship content on social media. The girls were manipulated into sending nude images and videos, which were then distributed to clients seeking sexual services. The police public relations officer, Olushola Ayolade, said operatives from the Special Weapons and Tactics SWAT unit arrested 3 suspects, including one Jayola Joshua. Efforts are ongoing to apprehend additional accomplices. The rescued girls, I should say, were found in an apartment in Akure, and authorities have called for vigilance and cooperation from the public to combat human trafficking across the state and country. Well, on the foreign scene, 10 years after coordinated jihadist attacks in Paris killed 130 people, survivors and families of victims are still coping with trauma. The attacks targeted the Bataclan concert hall, cafes, restaurants, and the Stade de France Stadium, leaving hundreds wounded and loved ones mourning. Eva, who lost her leg in the Bell-equipped restaurant attack, now wears a prosthesis and says life is pretty well, though the memory lingers. Bilal Makono, wounded at the Stade de France, remains in a wheelchair, deaf in one ear, and struggles with the fragility of his right arm, saying it haunts us. End of quote. Some survivors have found solace through writing and sharing their experiences. Sylvester, who lost her partner at the Bataclan, says writing helps her collect some of the debris and piece it back together, even as she raises 2 children alone. Tragically, others like Valette and Fred succumbed to the long-term psychological effects of the attacks. Commemorations continue across Paris with candles and memorials honoring the victims. Experts stress that access to psychological care has improved, but some survivors remain untreated, highlighting the lasting impact of trauma and the need for continued support. Well, in business news, the International Monetary Fund and the federal government of Nigeria have held discussions in Abuja on the country's ongoing economic reforms, medium-term outlook, and preparations for the 2026-2030 National Development Plan. The meeting brought together IMF Assistant Director Axel and Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Bagudu. Now, Axel praised Nigeria's reform progress and expressed the IMF's interest in understanding how the medium-term strategy aligns with national development objectives. He noted that pre-election periods often bring uncertainty, but Nigeria's commitment to policy consistency shows growing institutional strength. Well, in sports news, Lionel Messi scored twice and assisted 2 goals as Inter Miami trashed Nashville 4-0 to advance in the MLS Cup playoffs. Messi opened the scoring in the 10th minute, doubled the lead in the 39th, and set up Tadio Allende for the 2 late goals in the 73rd and 76th minutes. Coach Javier Mascherano praised Messi's performance, highlighting his pressing game at 38 years old. The win ensures Miami avoids a first-round exit for the 3rd time in 4 seasons and sets up a second-round clash with FC Cincinnati. In other matches, Minnesota United eliminated Seattle Sounders 7-6 on penalties after a 3-3 draw, booking a second-round encounter against the winner of Portland and San Diego. The shootout extended to the 10th round before Minnesota clinched victory. Miami striker Luis Suarez was absent rather.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeat, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
I've been in this profession over 30 years. And I must confess to you, VOP is just too welcoming. You can't do without VOP on a daily basis. The moment you join VOP on a daily basis, you are all in all. I must confess to you.
Join us on People's Voice, where we amplify the voice of those that matters the most. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts with me. I am Xavier Udo. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, from 4 p.m. to 5. Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns. Thank you.
I'm Mr. Familoni, and here is to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check only on Voice of the People television, where your health has a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOPTV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
In a world where power shifts its every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Join Moses, Chukuma and Fina on Voice of the People TM. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
My name is Esther. They call me the Oga Patapata of them are the general overseer of them all. Every man, every woman has got a voice where integrity is the volume. So this is Voice of the People's TV. Voice of the People's TV. So this is the people's voice. And the people's voice is the voice of God. That's the voice populi in Latin. The people's voice is the voice of God. So keep watching Voice of the People. In fact, my name is Voice of the People. Keep watching MC Adobe King.
Hi guys, my name is Kagan. I am Nigeria's biggest tech content creator, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Voice of the People TV. Keep watching, enjoy, and you're welcome.
My name is MC Alamano. They say call me Enjoyment Landlord. It's VOP TV. Keep watching VOP TV. Don't touch it down. Even if you want to touch it down, increase the volume. If you don't increase the volume, I told me.
My name is Collins Agawabe, popularly known as No Mide, but last, more than No Mide, or more. Not be all so the cook right at the fry plantain. We keep on watching VOP TV. The voice of the people, the voice of Edo. If you now want to get the authentic news for Edo, the way it be, that's why they show and all they cut anything come on. A VOP TV.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
I've been in this profession over 30 years. And I must confess to you, VOP is just too welcoming. You can't do without VOP on a daily basis. The moment you join VOP on a daily basis, you are all in all.
Join us on People's Voice, where we amplify the voice of those that matters the most. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts with me. I am Xavier Udo. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, from 4 p.m. to 5. Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns. Thank you.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media.